What is up? It has been a minute, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my predictions for each UFC champion of each weight class at the end of 2024. And I am very excited to make this video. I think there's a lot of takes that I'm going to have that not many of you guys are going to be expecting or agreeing with, and I think that it's going to be a great video. And let's start this one off, ladies first. Starting things off with the women's strawweight division, and by hopefully no one's surprise, I'm picking Zhang Weili to stay as champion at the end of 2024. She is extremely dominant, and she is hitting her peak in her career as we speak. I don't think we're going to see a more dominant champion besides Amanda Nunes in women's history. I am very high on Zhang Weili. I think that she's an absolutely amazing fighter, and she's going to run through that entire strawweight division. Next up, we have the women's flyweight division, and I'm picking Erin Blanchfield to become the UFC flyweight champion by the end of 2024. I am extremely high on her. Ever since she ran through Molly McCann, I knew she was going to be a champion one day. She's fighting Manon Fiorot, and I think she's going to dominate her. I think she's going to dominate Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso, anyone that steps in her way, and I think that she's going to become the UFC women's flyweight champion, and I think that she'll remain one for a long time. Next up, we have the women's bantamweight division, and I think that the UFC champion at the end of 2024 is going to be Kayla Harrison. There's not too much talent in this division, and I don't think that Raquel Pennington or Mayra Bueno Silva are very good fighters, to be real with you guys, and I don't really like either of them. I don't love the talent in the space of this division, and I think that Irene Aldana might make some moves in this division just because she is a very entertaining fighter, and she's coming off an absolute war that was just amazing. But I think that Kayla Harrison's going to beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm's an old person. She's old. She's crippled, right? I love her a lot. She's a super entertaining fighter. Not really, but she's awesome, all right? She is kind of a clinch fest, but she's an awesome person. She's been fighting for a while, but I just don't think that she's going to beat Kayla Harrison. I think Kayla Harrison's going to run through this entire division. She's just bigger, stronger, faster, better on the ground, on the feet, in the clinch game, in the grappling game, everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And I think that Kayla Harrison is going to be the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion at the end of 2024. Moving on to the men's divisions, we're starting off with the men's flyweight division, and I think that the champion will stay with Alexandre Pantoja, and I think he'll keep the belt at the end of 2024. I think he's going to fight, obviously, he's going to fight Steve Eric, and then I also think he's going to fight Muhammad Mokaev this year, and I think he's going to beat them both. I think he's going to beat them both up bad. I love Steve Eric. I hope he wins, but I just don't think he will. And Muhammad Mokaev, I think he's super overrated. He kind of got fraud checked in his last fight, and I just can't see anyone beating Alexandre Pantoja in this division. Moving on to one of the best divisions in the UFC, we have the men's bantamweight division, and I think that Sugar Sean O'Malley's going to remain the champ. This was a hard decision for me. There's a lot of great fighters, but what I think is going to happen is I think that Merab is going to beat Sean O'Malley when they fight. I think Merab is going to beat him, but I think that Sean O'Malley is going to get a rematch, and I think he's going to beat Merab. I think Sean O'Malley is going to beat Merab if they fight again. I think he could definitely beat him if they fight each other too. I think Merab is going to beat him the first time they fight. I'm not totally sure, but I do think that some way or another, Sean O'Malley is going to stay the men's bantamweight division in the UFC. I don't think Corey Sandhagen can beat him. Corey Sandhagen is just like kind of a slower version of Sean O'Malley, and then there's some other fighters, but I honestly think that the only realistic options are him and Merab. I think all these other people who are saying anything else, like Umar is not going to fight Sean O'Malley this year. No way. I think that there's a chance maybe in the future, and I even think if Umar fights Sean in the future, I don't think he beats him. So I think Sean O'Malley's going to be dominant, and I think he's going to remain the UFC men's bantamweight champion. Moving on to the featherweight division, and this might shock some people, but I think that Sean O'Malley is going to be the men's featherweight champion and men's bantamweight champion at the end of 2024. This was probably the hardest one yet for me to pick. I mean, Ilia Topuria is very good. Volk could get a rematch. Max Holloway, I don't know how to feel about Max Holloway, because if Max Holloway loses to Justin Gaethje, he might lose bad. He might lose real bad. So I honestly think that however Max Holloway's fight goes with Justin Gaethje could determine if he becomes the UFC men's featherweight champion. But I think overall, I think Sean O'Malley does beat Ilia Topuria. I think Sean O'Malley beats Ilia Topuria, and I think him and Max Holloway would be an extremely entertaining fight. And then I just don't think Volk has it anymore. I don't think Volk has it anymore, man. Volk, you're coming off 2 knockouts. You just got slept twice in a row. You're like 36. You're like 36 right now. I just can't see a world where he becomes champion again either, so I am going to pick Sean O'Malley to be the double champ and be the men's bantamweight and featherweight division champion at the end of 2020. Moving on to the men's lightweight division, and I think that Charles do Bronx Oliveira is going to be the champion. This one was another very hard one for me because Islam is so good. Islam is so good. But come on now. I mean, I love Charles, man. I love him too much not to pick him. I think he runs through Arman. I think he gets his rematch against Islam. I think he beats Islam. I think he beats any other fighter out there who thinks that they want to try to step in the octagon with Charles do Bronx Oliveira. I don't really have much of an explanation for this, so I'm not going to touch on it anymore. Let's move on to the men's welterweight division. Moving on to the men's welterweight division, this one was actually not that hard for me at all. I think Shavkat's going to be champ, and I think he's going to be champ for a while. Because Shavkat is good, okay? Shavkat is real good. 18-0, all finishes. I mean, you just can't doubt Shavkat Rakhmonov, okay? I'm convinced Bilal Muhammad's never going to get a title shot. I don't think Usman gets a title shot. And I just don't think that Colby's going to get another title shot. I don't think that Ian Gary or Michael Venom Page are going to get title shots this year. And maybe Islam Makhachev might come up to welterweight and beat up Leon Edwards, but I just don't think so. I think Shavkat is going to run through Leon when they fight. And I think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to be the men's welterweight UFC champion at the end of 2020. Moving on to the third to last division that we have the men's middleweight division. And this one was kind of tough for me. It was definitely kind of tough for me. I think Izzy is going to get a rematch with Dricus. I think Dricus is going to beat Izzy, man. I think Khamzat might, go up there and do something. Brendan Allen looks really good. Marvin Vettori, I thought, might have been able to put some wins together, but he just pulled out of his fight with Brendan Allen. Jared Cannonier is really good, but he's getting up there in age, so I think after a good amount of thinking, I believe that Sean Strickland, quit playing with me. No one's going to beat Sean Strickland. No one's beating Sean Strickland. The judges gave that to you, Dricus. They gave that to you. Sean Strickland's coming with vengeance, I'm telling you. He's going to beat Dricus du Plessis, or he's going to beat Izzy, or he's going to beat Khamzat, or he's going to beat Jared Cannonier, or he's going to beat Marvin Vettori, or he's going to beat Brendan Allen. Whoever steps up and fights for the belt is going to get beat by Deshaun Tarzan Strickland, baby. Sean Strickland, let's go America. He will be the UFC middleweight champion at the end of 2020. Next up, we have the light heavyweight division, and I think that the champion of the light heavyweight division is going to stay with Alex Pereira. I think Alex Pereira is very, very, very good, and I don't think Jamal Hill's going to beat him. Jamal Hill? Magomed Ankalaev, Tom Aspinall. None of these guys are going to beat up. None of these guys are going to beat up my man, Alex Poatan Pereira, baby. Quit playing with him. Quit sleeping on his name. If any of you guys think that Alex Pereira is going to lose, your opinion is wrong. Your opinion is false. Alex Pereira is going to remain as the UFC light heavyweight champion at the end of 2024. And finally, we have last but not least, the UFC men's heavyweight division. And I think that the champion at the end of 2024 is going to be, Tommy Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is just too good. Tom Aspinall is just simply too good. And I do think that Jon Jones beats him up if they fight. I think Jon Jones wrecks him if they fight. But the problem is, I don't think Jon Jones is going to fight him. I think Jon Jones is going to beat up Stipe, and then Stipe is going to retire, and I think that Jon Jones is going to also retire, and then I think they're going to have a vacant belt, and I don't exactly know who they're going to put up against Tom Aspinall. There's a few options. I mean, not really. You could do Curtis Blades. You could, Pereira said he wants to go up to heavyweight. I guess he's walking around at like 235, so, maybe. I just don't know. The UFC's been making some really crazy moves recently with these title shots, like Steve Eric, so, we'll just have to see what happens, but I think that Tom Aspinall is going to beat basically anyone that's not Jon Jones. So if Jon Jones retires, which I think he will, Tom Aspinall, that's his chance to unify the belt, and straight up, I think he wins, dude. I think he beats anybody. I think he beats anyone in that heavyweight division except for Alex Pereira. I just don't think that Alex Pereira is going to come up to heavyweight, and for that reason, I think that Tom Aspinall is going to be the UFC men's heavyweight champion at the end of 2024. And that was the end, unfortunately, of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe at the end of the year we can check back and see how I did on my predictions. But if you guys agree with my takes or disagree with my takes, please let me know. Comment down below. We can talk about it. I would love to debate with you guys. Some of my picks are definitely going to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I'm very excited to see how correct these takes are going to be.